Max Verstappen wants out. The four-time world champion just told the world he is seriously thinking about walking away from Formula One. After everything that happened this week, I'm not sure anyone can blame him. I'm Ryan Caldwell. This is F1 Verdict. Subscribe to stay across every twist in Formula One. Now let's get into it. The best driver on the grid is threatening to quit. His closest ally just defected to McLaren. The championship leaders might be running an illegal car. These stories are all connected, and it starts with Verstappen. After finishing 8th in Japan, and after getting knocked out in Q2, Verstappen sat down with the BBC and said he is thinking about everything inside the paddock. He said it is really anti-driving, and that at some point it is just not what he wants to do. He spoke about his daughter and about the 22 race calendar and whether it is worth spending all that time away from his family to drive cars he does not enjoy. He asked publicly, 22 races, is it worth it? Coming from a four-time world champion, that is not a throwaway line. This is not about Red Bull being slow. He said he can easily accept finishing 7th or 8th. The problem is the formula itself. He called these cars Formula E on steroids. He compared them to Mario Kart. The energy management system punishes aggressive driving. The harder you push, the slower you go. For a driver whose entire identity is built on attacking every single corner, that is not a small complaint. That is a fundamental problem with why he races in the first place. He turns 29 in September. 71 wins, 4 world titles, 3rd on the all-time win list behind Hamilton and Schumacher. He has nothing left to prove. Sources told ESPN he is leaning toward a sabbatical rather than full retirement. He wants to race at Le Mans. He has entered in the Nürburgring 24 hours later this year. He has been exploring GT3 team ownership. Max Verstappen is not done with motorsport. He might just be done with Formula One specifically. And then there is the contract detail that got buried in the headlines. His Red Bull deal runs through 2028, but there is an exit clause. If he falls outside the top 2 in the championship by the summer break, he can walk. He is currently 9th, with 12 points from 3 races. That clause is not hypothetical anymore. It is active right now. And given how the RB22 has performed so far, 9th might be generous by the time summer rolls around. If this is the kind of Formula One coverage you want, not the surface level headlines, but what is actually happening behind the scenes, subscribe to F1 Verdict. I cover what the headlines miss every single week. Now here is what made this week even worse for Red Bull. On Wednesday, McLaren confirmed that Gianpiero Lambiase, Verstappen's race engineer since his first Red Bull race in 2016, is joining them as Chief Racing Officer no later than 2028, when his Red Bull contract expires. Lambiase is not just an engineer, he is the voice in Verstappen's ear every single race weekend. He has been there for every one of those 71 wins and 4 world titles. They have worked together for 10 years, and Verstappen has said publicly, I have said to him, I only work with him. As soon as he stops, I stop too. Verstappen told the world that when Lambiase leaves, he leaves, and now Lambiase is leaving for the reigning Constructors' Champions. Aston Martin offered him a team principal role first. Williams showed interest too. He turned them both down and chose McLaren because of the project and the direction Andrea Stella is building. That tells you exactly where the smart people in this paddock think F1 is heading. And it is not toward Milton Keynes. I went through the full list of Red Bull departures over the past 2 years, and it is genuinely staggering. Adrian Newey left for Aston Martin. Christian Horner was sacked after 20 years. Helmut Marko walked away after more than 2 decades. Jonathan Wheatley left for Audi. Rob Marshall, Chief Engineering Officer for 17 years, went to McLaren. Will Courtney, Head of Strategy, also went to McLaren. Craig Skinner, chief designer of 20 years, left in February. Oli Schach, Verstappen's front-end mechanic, who had been at every Grand Prix since 2005, left in early April, citing the team atmosphere. And now Lambiase. I have never seen any team in any era of this sport lose this much institutional knowledge this fast. The people who built 4 consecutive world championships are almost all gone. Now, while Red Bull is collapsing from the inside, the team that is actually winning has a crisis of its own developing. Mercedes is under FIA investigation for their front wing, and this one matters because it could reshape the entire championship. After their dominant 1-2 finish in China with Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, rival teams started asking serious questions about the W17's active front wing. Under the 2026 regulations, the wing has to complete its transition within 400 milliseconds. That is the legal limit the FIA monitors. Video analysis appeared to show the Mercedes wing taking up to 800 milliseconds, double the allowed time. The system allegedly uses a 2-phase closing mechanism. The first phase is rapid, completing within the legal 400 millisecond window. FIA sensors register it as complete. Job done. But then a slower second phase kicks in. The wing settles into its final aerodynamic position after the monitoring window has already ended. The result is progressive downforce build-up during braking, smoother weight transfer into corners, better tyre management, and a genuine competitive edge that nobody else on the grid has. Ferrari reportedly raised the concern with the FIA, though they have firmly denied filing the formal complaint. Nicolas Tombazes and the FIA technical department are now examining compliance. There is no ruling yet. But the timing matters. The FIA has 3 meetings this week on April the 15th, April 16th and April the 20th. If a technical directive targets this system, every Mercedes result this season could be under threat, and that includes Antonelli's championship lead. I think if Mercedes genuinely found a way to game the timing sensors, that is not cheating in the traditional sense. That is engineering at the absolute edge of what these regulations allow. The real question is whether the FIA wrote the rules tightly enough to prevent exactly this kind of thing. And based on what I have seen so far, I am not convinced they did. So here is the verdict. The best driver in the world wants out. The team that dominated the last era has lost everyone who made it possible, and the team that is actually winning might be bending the technical regulations to do it. The FIA meetings this week matter more than any they have held in years. If they fix the energy management, rule on the Mercedes wing, and show that these regulations can produce real racing, maybe this sport pulls itself together before Miami. If not, Verstappen's frustration is going to spread across the grid, and Formula One cannot afford to lose its biggest name over regulations that even the governing body admits need work. That's the verdict. This story is moving fast, and I will be back when it develops. I'm Ryan. This is F1 Verdict. Please come join me in the next video. It's on screen now.